Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're diving into one of the most powerful chapters in the Psalms, Psalm 46. But think of this as more of a cinematic journey, a verse-by-verse experience designed to make these ancient words absolutely unforgettable. Let's get into it. Let me just start by asking you this. What if the ground beneath your feet, the very thing you count on to be solid, suddenly turned to liquid? Imagine everything you thought was permanent just crumbling and sinking away. I want you to hold on to that feeling of total instability, because that's exactly where this psalm begins. So, our journey starts right in the middle of a raging storm. The world is being torn apart. But right in the eye of this hurricane of chaos, the psalmist introduces this radical, almost unbelievable idea, a fortress, a place of perfect, unshakable safety. Okay, first one. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Now let's really break that down. Refuge isn't just a safe place. It's like a secret, storm-proof bunker that appears exactly when you need it most. And strength isn't just about having endurance. It's like a direct infusion of power when you've got nothing left. And I love this part. He's not a distant help. He's a very present help, meaning he's already there, in the trouble, right there with you. Now for verse 2. This is where the imagery gets wild. Picture the whole earth just groaning as these massive cracks split the continents. Feel the tremor as mountains, I'm talking skyscraper-sized mountains, are violently ripped up and hurled into the sea. The scale of this is just apocalyptic. And yet, what's the response? A calm, defiant, therefore we will not fear. Verse 3 adds this terrifying soundtrack to our scene. The ocean isn't just rough, it's a furious black vortex, roaring with this incredible power. And those mountains that just got tossed into the depths, well, they're not sinking peacefully. They're shaking in terror as these monstrous waves swell and crash all around them. This is a picture of nature in absolute, horrifying rebellion. And then silence. Selah. This is way more than just a musical note. It's a deliberate pause. It's a moment to let that terrifying image of a world in chaos just sink in, to feel the weight of it right before the entire scene shifts. Okay, now the storm pulls back, and we're transported from that violent, external chaos to an inner sanctuary. The contrast is jarring, and it's also breathtakingly beautiful. Let's take a look at how this sanctuary is built. Verse 4. After the deafening roar of that dark ocean, we're suddenly met with the gentle sound of a crystal-clear river. Its peaceful streams are flowing through a serene, glowing city, bringing life and joy. What's amazing here is how you can almost feel the atmosphere change, from heart-pounding terror to absolute, soul-soothing peace. Verse 5 reveals the secret to this city's security. See, God isn't some distant observer. He's physically present, right in its very heart. And because he's there, the city is immovable, unshakable, even as the world outside completely falls apart. For this one, just picture a brilliant sunrise breaking over the city walls, a visual promise that help isn't just on its way, it's already here. Now in verse 6, our perspective snaps back to the chaos, but we see it differently now. We hear the clash of raging armies and the thunder of crumbling kingdoms. The noise is overwhelming. And then, a single sound cuts through it all. God's voice. It's not a shout, just a quiet word. And at the sound of that one word, the very earth melts like wax. What this shows us is that all the combined power of humanity is completely insignificant before a single utterance from God. And this brings us to the first great refrain of the psalm in verse 7, the Lord of hosts. You know what that means? The commander of heaven's armies, of all angelic powers. That all-powerful commander is with us. And the God of Jacob, a flawed, regular guy, is our personal fortress. Isn't it amazing how that shows both his cosmic power and his intimate protection at the same time? Selah! Let that one sink in. The commander of the armies of heaven, the ultimate power in the universe, is our personal refuge. Just take a moment to really feel the weight of that statement. All right, for this last section, our perspective expands even further. We're moving beyond the city, beyond the battlefield, to a huge cosmic view of God's ultimate authority over all of history. Verse 8 is a direct invitation. Come, behold. It's like we're soaring high above the earth, witnessing the grand sweep of history. We see the ruins of these once mighty empires, the desolations God has brought to humble human pride. It's a breathtaking and, yeah, at times, unsettling view of his awesome power. Then in verse 9, we zoom right into a battlefield. But instead of a fight, we see a supernatural disarmament. God is personally stepping in. Bows are being snapped like they're just twigs. Spears are chopped in half. War chariots, which were the ancient equivalent of tanks, are just spontaneously bursting into divine fire. He doesn't just win wars, he ends the very idea of war. And then, in verse 10, everything comes to a dead stop. The command is, be still. It's not a suggestion, it's a divine order. After all the roaring and raging and burning, a profound, sudden silence just falls over everything. The invitation is to just stop our striving, to let go of our fears, and to simply know. Know that He is God. Imagine yourself standing under a vast, starry sky in total stillness, hearing that quiet, unshakable declaration of His authority. Verse 11 brings back our refrain, and it lands with so much more weight now, doesn't it? After witnessing mountains fall, kingdoms melt, and wars cease with a single word, this declaration feels less like a desperate hope and more like an undeniable final truth. The commander is with us. He is our refuge. One final Selah, a moment to just stand in awe of the journey we've taken, from the heart of chaos, through the sanctuary of peace, all the way to the throne of ultimate power. So, we end where we began, with a contrast. This psalm takes us from the deafening roar of a world falling apart to the profound stillness of God's presence. It's a powerful reminder that even when the mountains are crashing into the sea, there is a river of peace and a sovereign God who commands us to be still. The question this psalm leaves us with is this: what mountains in your life need to hear that command to be still?